Hare Krishna. Welcome you all for our Gurukula sessions. And today is a Friday. We have a Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita study. So Srila Prabhupada has given us the very positive things in life. We were running in one direction, but Srila Prabhupada changed us and then he is giving a better direction. He has given us a better direction. People are mad for short-term pleasures, right? Like a child. For a children, generally, all of you are also children, but you're good children. You show them the 20 rupees big dairy milk and one 2000 rupees note. Generally, children, what they will choose? Out of two, what is their choice? 20 rupees
Probably,
big chocolate.
Probably chocolate.
Then, but Manvi Prabhu, what you will choose? What is your choice?
Probably chocolate only.
You will also choose chocolate. Oh, then you are not yet understood. Yeah.
I have understood Prabhuji.
Yeah, but you are joking. Huh? Okay. Manvi Prabhu likes chocolate, I think. Shubham Prabhu is telling both. Right. Yeah, only one option correct, not multiple choice, multiple answer.
Krishna consciousness.
Yeah, that is 2000 rupees note. Because we know, the intelligent man will know that in 2000 rupees note, there are 100 chocolates. But the child, he is just mad for a short-term pleasure only. Oh, chocolate, let me eat. But intelligent man thinks, like, in a chess game, they think, where shall I make my move now? What is my next move? So that I can win the match very nicely, destroying my enemies, and conquer the king on opposite side. Checkmate him. Right. So same way, with the help of teachings of Srila Prabhupada, we are able to make a wise choices in our life. Not to chocolate, not to be mad for chocolate, but the value, understanding the value of life, taking to Krishna consciousness. So that with Krishna, we can enjoy unlimited chocolates there. Not to mad for. You remember, how many of you remember yesterday's picture we showed you in the beginning? You were able to, what was that picture in the beginning we showed all of you yesterday? What was that picture about? In the introduction, we showed you the picture, right? Something about balloon and the gifts. Anyone remember? Maya is offering a gift. Here is a gift for you, please take. But the child, because he was attending Gurukula sessions, he understood. No thanks. I have so many nice gifts with me. And what are those gifts the child was holding?
A balloon, which means he was flying up.
Yeah. What are those gifts child was holding?
Prabhuji Bhagavad
Gita. ABCD, right? Association of Devotees, reading Srila Prabhupada books, chanting, prasadam. These were shown. So from where we got all these things? Srila Prabhupada has given us. Srila Prabhupada has introduced us, isn't it? So that's why it's very important to appreciate Srila Prabhupada's life and Srila Prabhupada's contribution. So, yeah, Chadivish.
Gurukula.
Just keep a mute. So let us begin with the prayers. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaiham Dadati Swapadantikam Vande Aham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratvishe Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So let us begin now. The great gift Srila Prabhupada is giving us, has given us about Krishna consciousness, and then knowing how Srila Prabhupada. So that's why Srila Prabhupada is the best teacher. He has just not spoken, but he has lived his life. He has shown through his life. So that's why it's nice and important to understand about Srila Prabhupada's life. So let's begin. Anyone knows what point we had stopped last week? What was somewhere I missed out? If somebody can help me.
History.
Which history?
Prabhuji, short history.
Short history, huh? Was it so ahead we went? Okay. No. Now I remembered, yes. So Srila Prabhupada comes back to Calcutta. You remember? Because what was the plan?
Yes, Prabhuji arrived to Calcutta in spring of 1954 with no money and live in ashram.
Yes. So why Prabhupada comes back? What was plan Prabhupada was doing? Prabhupada thought of purchasing the Jhansi. And how much cost was put up for Jhansi? You remember?
5,000?
5,000.
7,000.
Not 7,000, it's 5,000.
First it was given as a gift, but after that 5,000. Some money and then 5,000.
Prabhupada thought that now, okay, the only way I think I can do it if I can go back and then get through my factory, through my business. So with that hope, Prabhupada comes back to Calcutta. Now he stays in a Gaudiya Math, not in the home. He stays in the Gaudiya Math. And then there, this brahmachari, he shares the experience, how sweet his kirtans were and how nice voice he was having. And he used to often express a desire to go abroad and preach. Right. So which point we had stopped there? Yeah, here I think so. He visited his family. I think so. One more paragraph before we'll read. Yeah, yes. One of his son was running a small business, Vimal Tone Laboratory. This also we read, right? The name. The family would be see his preaching in Jhansi as a threat to their home lives. Abhay, however, sustaining himself by a vision, which was now taking a practical shape, a world reform Krishna consciousness. But now what happened in Calcutta after coming? Yeah, that's where we're stopped. But inevitably, you all are able to see, right? I'm reading now.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, but inevitably, he was plunged again into family responsibilities. He came here to solve the Jhansi issue so that he can get a financial things and then go back. But again, he got caught up into family things. That's why one of the analogy scripture says, Graha Andha Kupam. Prahlad Maharaj only says, right? Graha Andha Kupam. What is meaning by Kupam? Kupam. Kupa. Who knows?
Prabhuji, Kupam means angry.
No, that is Kopa. Yeah, Kupam. Andha means the darkness. Graha Andha Kupam. Graha means the home or a family. Andha means the darkness. And a Kupam means the well. Well, you know, the well from where we take the water out.
Kua.
Kua. Yeah, correct. That's a close word. Kua, Kupam. Kopa means the anger, Prabhu. Manvik is telling correctly, but that is Kopa. So family life is compared to deep, dark well. Why? Because one who falls into the well, he will not know only how deep it is and how to come out. So many responsibilities. That's why we should really be very, very grateful for our parents. How much they have taken a hard struggle for us. Now we don't know because we are getting everything very nicely. Our smartphones they're giving us to attend the classes. The food is ready for us. We need not to worry about grocery, vegetables. If you're staying in a rented house or a maintenance or what, so much anxiety. This recently, many students were telling. We have some other students, their parents lost the job also because of the lockdown. And practically a lot of struggle to maintain the family and things. How they maintain is great struggle. Because that is the nature of family life. One has to really struggle hard, especially to remain in this material world. And responsibility upon responsibility comes. So one when grown up, then he has to take care of the family, the father, mother, then he gets married, then it expands more. Then he gets the children, then children's education, then old parents, their care. And then when children are grown up, then they should get married. Anyone knows very famous episode of Narad Muni and one character? We discuss in our other sessions if anyone have attended. He was also postponing. Narad Muni was taking him to Vaikunta. I think one of the early sessions in our Gurukula we showed you also on Sunday session. It's nice. This Kailash. He was telling I'll come later. So many responsibilities.
Yes, Prabhuji. Remember.
That one, no, Prabhuji. That Narad and Shiva, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Kailash episode. But anyway, the point is, family life is having so many anxieties and responsibilities. So that's what we see now Prabhupada's case also. He came here, but then he got caught up with the responsibility. Some of his children were still unmarried. Rent and bills had to be paid. Yeah, keep a mute just. Manvik, sound is coming here. Even if he were to develop the Vimalton laboratory, the family would demand whatever he earned. And even if he were to accede to their demands, live at home and give up the preaching, the greatest difficulty would still remain. They weren't serious about devotional service. Right? He is ready to take that responsibility. This becomes very clear, right? When we read up here, he was ready to take up the responsibility of a factory and things and all. But problem is family members are not serious about devotional service. Yeah, correct. Ramanujacharya's life today is Sripad Ramanujacharya's disappearance day, and we were also hearing a class by our teacher. So he was also mentioning same point. Ramanujacharya also, when he got married, there was no support from his wife. So many problems, family issues. Finally, that's why I decided I'll go and take sannyas because no support. So that's why it becomes very, very dangerous in one sense of committed Krishna consciousness to take up. Because then naturally one gets caught up. To give up the family also looks very not proper. Because the children and wife and relatives, they all should be cared. But at the same time, the human goal is lost. What then you're going to do then? You're going to become old and leave the body finished. Then where is the care for relatives and families? One has to give up then. Lost the human chance. So that's why all of you should thank your parents seriously because they're allowing all of you to learn Krishna consciousness so nicely. Otherwise, where we have only 7 children, 7 of you, 7 of you. But outside, where is education about Krishna consciousness? Only education about family planning, family business. But no Krishna consciousness is added. So Prabhupada was worried about same way. Nor could he change them. He tried them, but they were not changing. What was the use of conducting a business if they would not be devotees? See, so business is not a problem. Financial earning or taking a responsibility of family is not a problem. Please try to understand what the point here. If the people are not taking to Krishna consciousness, then we're working for what purpose? It's like a football match without goalpost. Any meaning to that football match? You learn a lot of tricks, how to take a football, how to take from the players and run and escape. But there is no goal only to that. Any use of playing that match? Human life without purpose of life is useless. So then what's the, because animals are also doing the maintenance business. There is a she cat, there is a he cat, there is a dogs, there is a monkeys. They also have puppies. They also have food and shelter and defense and everything. But they're called as animals because of this reason, minus dharma. You remember that formula? Human minus dharma is equal to animals. Then what's the great we did with the human form of life? So Prabhupada was concerned about that. How is going to come now? He visited his family and the same old scene occurred. Local friends came to visit and Abhay began preaching, giving Bhagavad Gita classes just as he had been doing in Jhansi. Meanwhile, his wife and the rest of family would take tea in a separate room. They were not coming and assisting the Abhay for guests to welcome them, give them the prasadam, offer it to the Lord, right? That's why ideal family life means what? You learned on this Sunday session, they might have showed you, right? The husband follows the Guru. Guru is following Krishna, husband follows the Guru, and wife assists the husband, and children, they follow the parents. Like that, whole family goes back home, back to God. But here, who is following Guru? Who is following Guru in this paragraph?
Prabhuji, Prabhupada.
Abhay. But then who is not following looking towards the Krishna?
All other members of family.
Prabhupada's wife and rest of his family.
Rest of the Prabhupada's family. They are not looking towards Prabhupada, assisting towards Prabhupada, but they are going away from Prabhupada. Separate room. We also have our own separate plan, our own separate room, our own separate things. That's why Krishna created this separate world, because we want to separate from Krishna. So remain separate. You have your other interest, so go and stay there. Krishna created because of our own needs. But then how can we bring out the happy life? So Srila Prabhupada narrates his experience. I wanted as much as possible to get her to work with me in spreading Krishna consciousness, to get her help. So wife is considered as the half of the husband, because she should assist the husband. And the real purpose to make Krishna consciousness and then spread Krishna consciousness. But here, so Prabhupada was not that he was not caring for them, but then the ideal purpose is not being sought. But she was very determined. She wouldn't help me in spreading Krishna consciousness. So finally, after many years, I could understand. She would not be any assistance to me. I mean, can you just imagine what is Prabhupada's feelings and going on now? Right? She was very attached to drinking tea. I was always telling her not to drink tea because I wanted to have a nice Vaishnava family. So although I was repeatedly telling her, this time I finally said, you have to choose between me or tea. Either the tea goes or I go. Can you imagine how Prabhupada is strongly standing upon the Krishna conscious principles? I mean, it's not that Prabhupada is demanding or kind of things. He gave a time. He requested many times. It's not that, right now, what is the situation now? Prabhupada is having a sons of a marriageable age. So, I mean, just imagine how many years they spend the time together. But still, there is no change. Then what's the thing? Prabhupada then finally told, either me or tea. You have to choose. And in this way, I was even criticizing my own family. But because they were thinking I was the husband or a father, they couldn't take my instructions seriously. So she replied, give up tea drinking or give up my husband? Well, I have to give up my husband then. And of course, she thought I was joking. So Prabhupada was telling, Prabhupada thought that Prabhupada is thinking that she is thinking I'm joking. Choose me. But then Prabhupada was serious. Prabhupada is not making a joke now. Prabhupada tried, he went to Jhansi, he struggled, now no support financially, so he came back to settle the financial needs, and now he's giving a chance to his family members, but still no support. Then finally, see, one day, Radharani made a great mistake. Okay, I think we'll read one more paragraph. Because time is over. Are you all okay? For more 2-3 minutes? Is
Yes,
it okay? going in a very thrilling way now. Or maybe here we'll take some few example, and then next week we'll start understanding that scene, what goes in a family. So can you recall some of the example? Who separated the family members because of keeping a Krishna conscious principles? Quickly. Many examples. Dhruva Maharaj, you're saying?
Prahlad Maharaj.
Prahlad, obviously, I mean, he did not like kind of rejected his father. But yeah. Yes. Vibhishan comes in mind. Vibhishan also tried to tell Ravana, "Arey brother, understand what less you have. Return Mother Sita, you will get more 100 other things. Save your life. Return to Lord Ram. He's not an ordinary person." But no, not ready. So Vibhishan understood, Vibhishan tried. Finally, he gave up. So he himself left and came back to Lord Rama's party. Any other example? Prahlad is a greater example in one sense. He did not rejected his father in that way, but then he was not accepting the ideology what his father was putting. Father was telling, I am only supreme. There is no Narayana. But yeah. Any other example? Who rejected the mother? Because not accepting Krishna consciousness.
Bharata.
Bharata. Dhruva Maharaj, of course, that was not purely Krishna conscious in the beginning, but later when he became Krishna conscious, everyone became better. But yeah, Bharat Maharaj rejected his mother. He said, you are now no more my mother because you are not, what is this? You are rejecting Rama, then I reject you.
Prabhuji, the wives of Brahmanas.
Wives of the Brahmanas, correct. They were also not ready to go back. They understood. Of course, the Brahmanas later realized their mistakes. So anyways, but the principle try to understand. We should thank our parents for allowing us to be Krishna conscious and take up very, very seriously. And later in a life, we don't know how the things goes and all, but then we have to go on. And Prabhupada's life, we can see demonstrate the living example here. How best Prabhupada trying. It's not that Prabhupada rejected immediately. So there is a proper guidance and we follow properly. Then yes, a family which prays together, stays together. Family which sings together, advances together. So yes, possible. People will understand slowly, they will set exam. But the Krishna consciousness should never be given up at any other cost, because this is the highest, costliest thing, Krishna consciousness, no comparison. And there is a proper mature way one should deal, because nowadays, if we give up the things and all, later, we are not like so completely having a full faith, we're practicing. So we need again help in our life. So if we reject, later we will not get help. Then neither here nor there our situation. So we should properly go in a guidance and respectfully deal with the people, and then preserve our own Krishna conscious at least, and at the same time lead our responsibilities in a very, very proper way. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So today's title, that separate room. You want to be separate? You want tea or me? Separate interest. So that's why we come to this material world. Child adamantly demand, give my father, I want to drive the car. Then we become so adamant, then father gives him a toy car. Okay, fine. So the Krishna gave us this toy world. You want to become God? You want to enjoy? Come into this material world and stay here only. So Ramanujacharya left his family for the noble cause, for the higher cause, so that today we can stay with our families very happily. Prabhupada is, now we see, he is also struggling with his family. But then today, so many families are able to get benefited. So from a moral point of view, it may look like, array, come on, means God means we have to give up our family or what? As such, without God way also we find so many problems in the world, right? Is there any family who says where we have no problems in the families or so? So problems are there for the point, but for what purpose we are taking a problems and responsibilities, that we have to see. So, and now, if you read Lilamrita later, Prabhupada, after establishing ISKCON and all, every month he used to send all the financial support for his family members. So does really Prabhupada rejected his family? You are understanding? Yes or no?
No problem.
Yeah, otherwise then why he's sending a financial support after establishing his card? Right? Because he cared. Because somehow they're not ready to come with me. I took a decision, but then he was there with his sister in Calcutta when Prabhupada comes back. Then his sons were there, and we had gone to Calcutta in 2016, 2015-16. That was a golden jubilee years. 50 years of Prabhupada boarding Jaldut. So there was Jaldut festival. More than 110 country people had come there. We also got a chance to serve. It's a very, very beautiful festival. So there, Prabhupada's son came. His name was Vrindavan Day, I think so. So he glorified how my father was so great. And we never felt that he rejected us. So Prabhupada's son and Prabhupada's family members are only telling that he never rejected us. Then we should not misunderstand when we read these kind of things. Prabhupada was, worldly sense, it may look like they're rejecting him. He is rejecting them. But in a broader perspective, he is caring for them, to give them Krishna consciousness and for everyone Krishna consciousness. So that's why we should learn these episodes from a devotees association. Otherwise, outside people, they misunderstand and they wrongly say, oh, then that means you have to leave your families or give up the things. No, for the proper reason. That is a real love and affection. So Vidura also tried to help Dhritarashtra so much. But then later Vidura comes back and really helps Dhritarashtra not to lose the goal of life. Right? Your 100 sons are dead now. Still you are sitting on a throne. The death is chasing you. Your tits are gone and nobody is respecting you now, but still you are attached to a throne. Wake up, Dhritarashtra. And then Dhritarashtra goes and then finally goes back home, back to God. He also understands. Okay. At least then now we can take a proper steps by aligning ourselves with God, following our good parents, and then leading our life in a Krishna conscious way. Thank you all very much for joining and being with us, giving all of your nice association. Let us end with Vaishnava Pranam. Vancha kalpatarubhasya kripa sindhubhya cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah.
Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna.